if you have something to do, it makes it easier to pass the days.
Yeah.
And that's like my biggest thing with doing all of my photo stuff is I was bored.
Mm-hmm.
And to fill the boredom, I was working second jobs and picking up extra money at jobs that I hated instead of doing shit that I enjoyed.
Now you live the life.
Somebody asked me about that, and they were like, how many, like, are you, like, can you do it a day? I was like, well, I've done 5 in a day.
Yeah.
Then, like, I'm driving from St. Peter's to downtown, back to Altman, to St. Charles, back to Altman. So, like, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do this, and that's the hardest part, is staying on top of my scheduling.
Yeah. So you've been my inspiration to do this. So you just the way, because I always looked at the podcast like being like so self-centered almost, and like the way that you explained your or not your podcast, your project with the portraits.
Yeah.
I was like, I just need to rethink the way I'm looking at it. And it's just like,
I've always looked at podcasts as a way for people to talk about themselves.
yeah.
And I'm not good at talking about myself, so I'm not a podcast person.
Yeah.
To hear, like, I've watched podcasts, and there's a few that I've been interested in that are more so music related than actually being people related. And it's easier for me to watch those than for me to watch somebody talk about some stuff that they did or try to be funny, or
Yeah.
it doesn't strike me as something that's interesting.
The only 2 podcasts I consume, one of them's a local one, and you wouldn't enjoy it, but it's a esthetician friend of mine, and then a real estate, and they're like besties, and they're like 2 older sisters that like got to live and everything, and then Rob Deerdeck. I swear,
I've heard a lot of people that say they talk about, because he talks about money management and like business management and being business oriented and like all this crazy stuff that you wouldn't expect from somebody that was a professional skater.
I know.
I watch, there's one called The Hard War.
Yeah, yes.
And I love that because they talk to artists and other bands, and then they talk about tour and all the stupid shit that they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like that because they're just telling stories, not necessarily talking about themselves.
No, yeah.
I also don't really watch the news, so watching anything on podcasts doesn't resonate with me because they're talking about the news. I don't do the news. I don't do keeping up with current times. I'm really bad about being outside of everything.
Yeah, the only way I consume it is just because I always have coffee with my 83-year-old Meemaw. So she's like, what is the world like?
Not what it used to be.
No, it's a little scary, but I think it's all propaganda, so we can focus on good stuff. So,
and you can't believe anything that anybody's telling you these days because everybody has their own agenda of what they want to tell you. So you just kind of have to find your own way of learning. Yes, knowing things.
That's like your own curated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't take anything that anybody says as an absolute.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because, who knows if it's true or not. And these days, anything shows up as news. Yeah. It's funny, I was watching South Park the other day. I don't ever watch it. And for some reason, while I've been working, that's just been something to have on the background. Mm-hmm. And there's an episode where everything is either it's either news or an ad. And a little bit, because I was like, yeah, everything is kind of like ad these days, if you really think about it.
I'll get to scrolling on Facebook, and you can tell when it glitches because it's just like sponsored. I'm like, okay, what am I on right now?
I will get on Facebook for 5 minutes, look at notifications, literally just thumb up once and see nothing from anybody that I'm actually friends with and just close it out. Yeah. Like, I share everything through Instagram to them, but I'm really bad about like checking Facebook and actually connecting with people on there. Like Messenger, people will message me and I won't see it for like a week sometimes just because like I don't open Facebook.
Yeah, that's why I like purposely went through Instagram to even message you, because I'm like, I'd rather be on Instagram than...
Instagram's just as bad now. The algorithm is so, like, I never get to see anything that I want to see, and if I do see something and I refresh, it's gone. And I actually have to go to somebody's page to actually see it, like it, interact with it, whatever. But
the algorithm, the robots are taking over, and
I'm a very private person online.
Yeah.
I share stuff about myself because I believe in like making things transparent.
Yeah.
Or like talking about things or sharing things and like making people more comfortable with things. But like, I don't really, if you go through my Instagram, it's like 30 posts of everybody else and then maybe a post about me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people interact with that, but I'm just like, yeah, I don't talk about myself much. I don't really like to.
Here you are on the podcast.
Yeah. And I feared coming into this because it's like, I'm not good at talking about myself. I'm not good at giving myself praise. I'm not good at saying that I'm doing things.
Yeah.
Because I feel my stuff, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because everything that I do, I'm just trying to give back to people and give people pictures of themselves that they can remember or give them, you know, a platform to share something for, whether it's business related or anything. Like I don't really, it's all for other people.
Yeah.
Like I don't do anything for myself. Like yeah, the whole project is for myself because I wanted to learn, but that's why I didn't make it about like product or, you know, random strangers or anything like that. I don't know random strangers. I'm not good at approaching them, but people in general are another scenario that I know because I can give them everything afterwards and be like, hey, here you go. Here are all these photos. Use them for whatever you want.
Yep. So I was talking to my email this morning about a project and practice or how you are going at it without taking any payment at all and how you can find value outside of payment and the stuff that you do. So I think the whole entire, what, 79 plus you're at now, if by the time the video is posted, you're probably going to be past 100. But your networking skills are going to be out of the roof now.
I mean, the bad part is I suck at talking to people. I am so scared to talk to people, even like going to people's houses, having talked with them, set up beforehand. On the way to their house, I'm like, I'm going to throw up because talking to them is so nerve-wracking. But then when I'm there doing the project, like with you, whenever I did yours, I talk to people the entire time. Because I can't deal with the empty air.
Yeah.
Because it's so tense and I don't want it to be tense. I want people to be comfortable. I want to be able to get, you know, pictures they're obviously going to care about.
Yeah.
But I also want the people not to be like, oh man, that was a really uncomfortable, really like kind of not great experience because it was just a person taking pictures of me and then I like not talking to me or not doing anything.
Yeah.
So that's why like I strike a conversation where I really just kind of say dumb shit about myself to kind of get a conversation going. Man, I'm trying to get people to laugh too because when I get Jim from that smiles. Yeah.
I always say that like anyone can learn to take photos and like not to like have native self-talk. I'm stupid when it comes to like the knowledge of photography or videography. I just know how to do it and how to make money at it. But like it's 100% personalities. People aren't hiring just any random photographer. I guess they could if they're looking for a deal, but they're hiring you.
Yeah, they're hiring someone they know that they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And like I've told people that all the time. Like I don't market myself to people, especially random people on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to, you know, say getting to a contract with me to do photos and then it's not what they see. Because I'm very technically inclined with cameras.
Yeah.
I'm looking up specs. I know what all my lenses do. I know what all my bodies do. I know what I'm capable of. I know, you know, how far I can push it, like with my f-stops and everything. I'm not the most artistic person in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't have the eye for like angles or poses or, you know, sunlight or anything like that. Like some people do. Some people are just so naturally gifted with the way they see things that I don't feel on the same way. That's imposter syndrome to the max.
100%. I didn't want to like diagnose you, but I feel like I've been working so hard of like just fighting that, and it's like the worst fucking hurdle.
I've been forcing myself even. So I used to delete a lot of pictures that I wasn't 100% happy with.
Yeah.
If I was even at 98%, I was like, no, it's not a good photo. Delete it. Never see it again. I, you know, got rid of so many possibly good images over the year. And now I have a new thing where instead of doing that, I put them in black and white. And then I feel it's art.
Yeah.
So even if it's not perfect, I'm happy with it because it looks better.
My latest son has been playing with the curvature and making like the blacks roll back.
Yeah, I do that all the time. That's like, so my wife, she's my biggest bully and I love her for it. But she'll tell me, I don't like what you did with that picture, or I don't like how you edited those pictures. I don't like that you did this. And I love the criticism because she actually is artistic and she actually does have an eye for things. So I can adjust and do things different.
Yes.
And I feel like now I've got to the point where I can do a 30-minute photo session, run straight home, and in 30 minutes I can have 20 to 30 photos edited because I have everything streamlined at this point.
And so then it's just like done. You don't have it linked. Sorry. You're good. We got the power of
It immediately fucking kicked in as soon as my watch.
You're good. I did one with Alex Reed, and he had to keep on checking on Hazel. The song
oh yeah,
editing. Yeah.
Well, I don't talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'll message. I text people on and off. You know, right? I don't have somebody I talk to every single day.
Yeah.
I will go 4 days having not said a word to anybody in the outside world. That's the awful part of working from home. For my full-time job is I'm so comfortable with not doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's just easy for me to turn off and kind of be
recharge. That's what
I'm all I guess you could say that, but I look at it as I'm secluding myself from everything. So then I come out and everybody's like, oh, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. So it's shit, yeah, my bad, man. I've just kind of been going through some things. So, but I talk about that with people and I make mental health known. And that's a big thing I talk to about people with photo stuff is I've had a lot of people come back to me and say, you made me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Or my self-confidence came back because I really liked the way I looked in those and that's more important to me than anything. You mentioned earlier, not getting paid. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If somebody says I made them feel better or I made them comfortable, that's all they care about.
And there's that value.
Yes. So if I can give back making people comfortable in front of the camera or around people who have cameras, cool. I've had people that I've shot photos for years since I've been doing automotive work who have told me the only reason they're comfortable with people taking pictures of them is because I always had a camera.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know, that makes me feel a lot better about what I do and feel like I'm actually giving stuff to people and not just making them feel weird.
Yeah.
The camera.
I got Luke, was it Scalicious? I have him tomorrow. I'm in Maya.
Oh, he is, I love Luke. He is definitely a personality.
Oh my God.
But he's like me. He's very comfortable with being secluded, but I'm great on the internet. Having being a kid growing up, having
in my
talking to strangers on the internet that were probably 40-year-old dudes.
My parents thought I'd had a heart attack. I knew it.
You're telling me you're showing yourself on the internet to strangers? Yeah, what about it? Everybody does it.
We were pioneers.
We didn't have 5 people sitting in a kitchen at a kitchen table, all with laptops, all on a table, trying to find each other.
Yes.
That's
what we did, and went to Walmart. I mean, that's
I could do internet shit all day and talk to people on the internet and message complete strangers, replying to stories that they post on Instagram. But you get me talking in person, A, I overshare. Then B, I have no idea how to read people's social cues.
Yeah.
I took a test.
You got the test so far?
Yes.
I think we all do.
So I took a test. I answered it 100% honest. I didn't pull any punches. It said if you scored over an 80, you might have autism. I got a 183. Yeah. So, and I hyper fixate on things, and I pick up new hobbies like crazy. And once I start doing something, I don't stop until I finish it, even if it's shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have ADD, so ADD and autism kind of go really hand in hand. And it's really hard to differentiate sometimes if you have mild forms.
Yeah. So, but, me and my dad have a theory, especially after meeting, Frida's name right now, Bob Castley from City Museum.
And
he is super artistic. I mean, you can walk through the whole building and see how his brain worked. But you met him in a real person, you almost couldn't hold a real conversation with him.
I had a boss that was like that.
Yeah.
Genius, great at starting businesses. He started the company that I worked for before we got bought out. I did a few meetups with them for company stuff, Christmas parties and everything. The entire time he's on his phone. Doesn't talk to anybody. He's buried nose deep in his phone at all times. I maybe heard him say 10 words and they were like ordering food.
Yeah.
So it's like some people just, they have it all in their head.
That's how they function.
Yeah. And it's like you'd be crazy to see what's inside someone's like that, like what's going on in their head, what they think of. He ended up selling the company for like $80 million and he went on a motorcycle trip around Europe and then came back and go, all right, I'm done, and then started another company.
And the line.
Yeah.
I got bored.
Yeah.
Let's make some more money.
He's like, I sold the company. I don't have to do anything with it anymore. I've signed all the contracts. I'm going to go start another company and get out of here.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wish I had half the drive or maybe like the focus to maybe or something like that.
But I think you should give yourself credit. I mean,
I'm a very negative.
yeah, actist. That's like, so I'm talking back on mental health. So I don't know if it's just like a normal cycle of my adulthood and what my parents blessed me upon, or if it was the medication that I took for my acne when I was younger. It has a side effect of depression. Yeah. So I know whenever my depression hits, like every winter during slow season, of course.
Seasonal.
Yeah. And this year I decided to get a life coach, and it was also my hairstylist. So he was like, got to be brutal. Yeah. But he was like, fucking practice your positive thinking.
I had my wife compliments me all the time and like talks me up and talks of the things that I'm doing. And like, I never catch it. I never pay too much attention to it because I'm like so lost inside my own head sometimes about negativity and just like growing up. Yeah, having parents that never congratulated me on doing things, but more so, why'd you mess up this? Why'd you do that? Disappointed in you, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, you kind of learns nature to just pick yourself apart and be down on yourself about things. But like my wife said the other day, talking to somebody, she was like talking up my photo work, and she's like, yeah, like I can see the growth from where he was when he started to where he is now, but it's, leagues different. And it's like, damn, I didn't know anybody like had seen that. Like I thought I had seen it, but
no, we all are watching.
Yeah, and like now I'm thinking about it, like, man, all these people seeing me taking photos, and like I'm actually getting feedback from people about it is great. And I try and give people feedback all the time. Like when I'm taking pictures of people now, I compliment them on their eyes.
Yes.
Like,
then make fun of that
blur. Like if it's anything to like, oh man, you posed really well. Oh, I like what you're wearing. Or man, like I said, you have great eyes. Like I did a few people the other day. They're all like, they do a lot of abandoned photography, like urban photography, things like that. They all had fantastic blue eyes. Yeah. And I had to tell every single one, it's like, how did you guys all have the most stunning eyes? Like, yeah, it's crazy. So now whenever I post things, I try and talk about something with them or something about the project or something that led me to want to take photos of them. Because there's a reason I want to take photos of everybody. And it's not networking. It's, I like the way they look. I like the way they dress. I like the work that they do. I want to give back to them, things like that.
That's why I love it genuine.
There's always something about somebody like that you're a little bit attracted to as to why you want to take photos of them.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think all photographers do that. Like they see somebody and they're like, oh, they would make for really good portraits. They would make from, a great time taking pictures of them, or you see somebody's work or how they work. And you have a reason you want to take pictures of them.
Absolutely. I definitely have my favorites where I'm like, all right, I'm bored. I'm feeling like I'm getting into these slumps where like I just won't like photography at all. And I know it's like even my mentors are like, you're better at photography than videography. I'm like, no, but
sometimes it takes that to push you to do something.
Oh, that's my biggest motivator in life. Okay, pretty sure is Professor Daly at Lewis and Clark Community College. He is like yes, Pat Daly. He is one of my dad's old friends because my dad's an artist and he did bug photography and like a bunch of cool stuff.
Cool.
But awesome. He would do like real cool layouts on the computer, like what do they call them? Not fractals, but like mirrored images and flakes and stuff like that. But I remember my dad was like, it was back whenever I was kind of first starting, but I was still had at least 4 years in. I started real well, but Dad was like, we need to go interview him because he's...
Yeah, I want to comment on that. You did start very young. That if I had a camera in my hands, as young as you did, I can only imagine the stuff that
I mean, you would now, and you'd be touring already.
like. I would have tried. I didn't get my first camera until I was in Key.
Yeah.
And even then, I had no clue what I was doing.
Sometimes.
I was just like, yo, I've always loved photos. I always loved seeing photos. I want a camera for graduation.
Yes.
So that's what I did. And like the first 9 months, I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the fuck to do. And now my bag is here and I'm like, I always have a camera.
Mm-hmm. I feel weird not having it.
I take a lot of pictures on my phone. I don't know if you're the same.
Oh no, I am the queen of low quality, so I just throw out even shittier.
I have to force myself. So when we went I've never gone to the art museum at St. Louis, ever. And my wife took me in and I was taking pictures of stuff on my phone while we were in there, and all I could think about was, I wish I had
it's so much, but
they sent me some cool fucking pictures.
Good. Well, back on my motivation. So nothing motivates me more. And I went and sat and did an interview with them, filmed it. My dad interviewed it. And as we were walking out the door, he said, you should really pick something else. It's an oversaturated market, and you're a girl and you're young, you're not going to succeed. Proving motherfuckers wrong is the best thing.
That's the gift that I did. I grew up in a family that wasn't no artistic whatsoever. My brother actually a little bit. My brother, that's a completely different story. I am nothing like my family.
Yeah.
I am. If you saw my family and you saw me, you would never think I'd be a part.
Yeah.
And I've always just wanted to be artistic simply because of that. Because I had nothing else. So artism.
Artism, that's what it is.
Yeah. So if I wanted to push myself to learn things. And I feel like you rolled up because I know your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad is an amazing artist. I've loved everything that your dad's done throughout the years. Didn't follow him for a really long time just because I honestly forgot he existed.
He's working on his resurgence right now.
Yeah. And the internet became a thing. If you work prominently the internet, it didn't really go anywhere, but your dad's art is killer.
Yeah.
Then to have grown up possibly with people that were artistic, I could only also imagine how much I would compare doing work to how much they're doing. And I'm not doing enough. I got to do more.
It was definitely growing up in a family like this, and after I always knew it younger, but even now I'm learning more about stuff that makes more sense. But having a dad that had an artistic, making money off of art as always, you always are a starving artist, but he was able to pay bills. And then being able to have the sign shop too, which I hated the sign shop. Real on mine. God's signs suck. All power.
Are you talking about hand painted signs?
No, vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucked. But I knew how to run a business, and
that's business oriented.
Yeah.
Or the artistic. And
yeah. You made good money. It was a good business for a while, but it definitely showed me that if my parents could do it, I could do it. And that's why and it worked out that again, the sign shop, that's how I met Gams. But keep that whole story. But
I feel shit, I lost it.
No, you're good. But I've always been underneath this, growing up, it's always been oh, this is my daughter, Carmen Farrell, this is his daughter. So now
that's what before I ever mentioned, that's what I thought was, oh, sure, her dad's artistic. There's no doubt that she's gonna kill it too.
Yeah.
To have, plus it feels when you have parents that are in your corner,
you have them bestest best friends, everyone will
you go farther in it because you're getting support where your parents are seeing, be oh, this is fucking cool, you should do more of this. I like that.
Even though my mom's more like your wife, where she's I'll send her something that I edited real hard, and she'll be that's cute. I'm excited to see what it looks like after it's edited. I spent 2 for the shit. I cannot believe you just said that. What'd you do?
Sure. My wife is a crazy good artist, too. She has an artistic eye. She actually yelled at me the other day. She said I shouldn't talk about her so much. But honestly, that's the coolest part about my life is that somebody liked me enough to marry me willingly, as she put it.
Yeah.
But she is such a killer artist. And she'll never see this, so I can say this.
Yeah.
She doesn't really watch a lot on the internet. But she is a killer artist in the sense that she can draw. She can see things and she has just a brain that she can see something in your head and then create it.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I can't do it either. I think that's why I do the capturing. Tech stuff.
That's why I do Candid so much, because Candids, they're not posed. They're not anything that you plan for. It was just the right place, right time. You took a photo and it turned out really well.
Yeah.
And now that I'm posing people, I'm oh man, I'm picking every photo I do apart. So now I'm like multi-shooting and just doing like 10 of the sitting in the same spot, and then like grabbing one that they're like looking away, or like they were talking and their mouth is in a weird position, because like I think it adds character and it's not superposed, but at the same time it's not candid.
Yeah.
So it like, I wish I had the same creativity in my mind that some of these people do. Like we talked about Devin, like Devin's artwork is crazy. To be able to have somebody just tell you they want something and that you can create it, and it's like, holy shit, I wish I could do that.
And the whole life of a tattoo artist, I feel like I'll bring it up. I'll be like, how do you do it? And you just see the light. It's not great. And I'm like,
it's scary.
Like, you can just make art like that in like a couple hours is for each day. Like, oh.
And you know, like, gotta feel the same thing that we do with the imposter syndrome, as they're like tearing themselves apart. And like me and Devin have talked about his work so much and talked about my work. And when he asked me to do photos, I'm like, I was so scared because I feel like my friends think I can do something that I can't do. And then like they all talk me up and compliment me. And then like I'll post something and like I'll have people message me to make it shareable. And I'm like, why? Like, why do you want to see this? And it's like, you pick on yourself, but at the same time, like you learn to appreciate the small things people are telling you.
So I started practicing this. You can try if you want to. It's a little practice. You have to like jumpstart yourself out of the negativity you're programmed into. And you have to take an actual effort because it doesn't come easy and it doesn't feel good. So you have to say thank you.
Oh, I do. To everybody whoever else results.
Even accept it in your heart.
Yeah, I do. Nowadays, 5 years ago, absolutely not.
Like, I don't deserve this. What are you saying?
And
like,
I think I put a lot of it towards I'm medicated now for my, depression and anxiety and everything. And I think with the medicine that I take, taking a step back, looking at things, and then actually listening to what people say to me, which is hard for me because with AD, I'm never really paying attention. I kind of catch things, and then you do that thing where you say, what? And then you go, oh, wait, no, I did hear what you're saying.
You got to process.
Drive my way out. But at the same time, like anytime someone tells me something, they're genuinely complimenting me or genuinely talking about something that I've done, I absolutely listen to what they have to say and thank them. Where, I don't brush it off because I want people to be heard. So sometimes I do. If it's like my close friends are they'll shut the fuck up. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Why are you even texting you about this?
I just did my like bestest best friend's wedding this weekend, and I'm like, what are you paying you? Like, I think you fed me in alcohol over the past years enough. Just shut the fuck up and let me do this. Like,
I didn't really have a whole lot of friends growing up. I wasn't good at talking to people or meeting people or even really maintaining relationships with people. So the people that I have now, I absolutely appreciate and cherish everything they do for me. I think people have paid me enough just simply letting me know that they want me around.
Yeah.
Because growing up, it didn't feel like that from, friends, family, anything. Like, it just did not feel like I belonged anywhere. So now I have a set of friends that, like, they let it know that they do care about me and they do want to hang out with me, or that they check in on me. They message me. They text me randomly throughout the week, like, hey, how are things going? Blah, blah, blah. They're not talking about themselves. They're asking about me because they want to know. I always turn it around. I'm like, but how are you doing? It's helped, though, because, I can talk about the bad shit in a sense that I'm not forcing it on anybody, but I also know, like, if they didn't have to deal with it, they wouldn't be messaging.
No, exactly.
So they want to take that aspect and, like, help me and do things with me.
Yeah, it's important to have, like, a real solid support group around you and, like, constantly audit, like, how you feel. Like, my favorite phrase, and one of my friend's parents told us this, that we treat it like who's coming to sit at your table.
Yeah.
And if they're bringing something to the table,
I want people to feel included.
Yeah.
Like, I never felt included. So now I'm making sure, like, if we're all in a group and say someone's not being talked to, I'll like, hey, Howard, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? I like making people know that, like, they're there.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. I'll sing into the backgrounds. I'll put headphones in and just do my thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I shoot an event, like I did a lot of automotive stuff, I didn't talk to people. I would just walk around, snap a bunch of pictures, say hi to the people that I knew, and then about.
Yep.
So I tell people all the time, like, I want people to be comfortable. I want them to be included. I don't want them to have shit that I never had. I want to be that old saying, you want to be that adult that you needed as a kid.
You are that, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I've had me as a kid, fuck, I'd be unstoppable now. Yeah.
But, well, yeah, yourself.
I would probably be most pretentious person though, because I'd actually have somebody supporting me. So I'm kind of glad that.
That's like the fight that I fight with myself, and that's what like stopped me from doing this podcast for like the 2 years I wanted to do it. Was because I didn't feel deserving of the energy. I'm like, who am I to like put myself on the internet? Like think that
No. Who am I to think people want to talk to me about shit like this?
And then I was just like, who wants to do it? And then I was like, oh.
I love that you're making it about the people that you're actually interviewing and the things that you're doing, because there's not enough of that.
Yeah.
I mean, giving people a platform, letting them talk about themselves for the people that aren't even fucking good at it.
No, yeah. My big thing, what inspired this whole thing, other than just a random podcast, like your thing of just showcasing people.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched an old YouTube channel where I tried to be YouTube famous, like back whenever we were friends at my school. I hated it. And I was like, look at these little conversations we had, like how we thought back then.
I thought I was the shit man the internet when I was younger. And now I'm like, dude, I suck.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was a fucking turd. And I was posting all this shit because I thought it was cool, and really it wasn't cool, and I was just copying everybody
It
else.
was what's forever on the internet.
Yeah, but the thing is, everything is a copy of something else. Everything I do, I'm thinking of like fashion photography, or like I told somebody the other day, I fucking love like old shoe ads.
Yeah.
Where people are like sitting on the stairs and the showcase on their shoes, but on them, and then wearing it and everything. And like, I kind of do that shit. Like, I'm copying those poses. So like, you kind of pay homage to people, and like,
I mean, that's all art, I feel like is.
I compliment everybody around here, and then I see shit that they do. I'm like, damn, how could I do that?
Yeah, no, they exactly what it is. I think.
Man, I love the work that a lot of people are doing around here, and I would absolutely love to get on that level. Maybe I can try some things that I mean, it will help. But there's some people around here I look up to, and like, I know I'm never gonna be able to kind of what they do, but at the same time, I'm glad like I can actually have like a conversation with them and talk about things like that, and like, it's cool. I've met a lot of networks, and I'm a very extroverted introvert. I keep to myself, but if one-on-one, small groups, I'm good.
Then they get overwhelmed if so many people are not the right people.
We went to did you go to the Oddities Expo over there?
No, I weren't.
Oh, you should. There's a lot of cool shit there. We went, and I was immediately overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was freaking out going to it because I saw a thing that said that 24,000 people were interested. I was like, no.
After you go down, like just the big reflective shade, like over your face. Like,
don't perceive me. I'm not here. I don't exist. I'm gonna put a mask on.
That's exactly how I feel.
I loved the COVID part of everybody wearing masks.
I mean, you can wear some glasses, no one will.
Yeah, nobody knew who I was, and then I take my mask off. They're like, oh, what's up? It's like,
that's why I don't go grocery shopping no more.
I put in headphones when I grocery shop.
I should try that, but I feel like I'll get more.
If I have to go alone, I'll throw in headphones, and nowadays you can do the ambient noise so you can hear everything around you still, and like it keeps people from wanting to talk to me. And like, I'm a weird looking individual. I'm pretty normal looking outside of everything, but like my ears are being tattooed and the things that I wear. But like, I get a lot of stares, and it's like it's hard, I guess, for people to understand not to stare at people because it's rude.
I get so much energy from it, like especially when the tattoos are out. Like most of the time, people like. I think it's fun, especially like closer people. When
I got like the above knee shorts on today. I got the nice tee, like my favorite T-shirt. Like
yes. Anytime we go to Hickory Grove and Altman, and it's always like the blue haired special, like all these old people are there.
Grove, what's that?
It's like across from the mall. It's like just American and commercial.
Gotcha. Okay, that's why I don't have to really eat food around here. So,
I mean, it's not that special. It's just like a good place to get like basic life. It's not, but there's always like blue hairs in there, and they're like
old tattoos. Yeah, old people in line to stare at me, and like it's like. I was always taught not to stare at people. I people watch a lot, don't get me wrong, but I never got. And I don't stare at people to the extent, like, I have a blank face on. So it's not like a rude stare. It's hey, I'm just checking you out. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to look away in like 2 seconds so I don't be caught type of thing.
Oh, no. Me at LDB this year, since there's like, so many
jealous of that. I wish I could have.
I was like, don't worry. I'm going to set up a payment plan so we can get a big group.
Shows are the one place I've always felt kind of comfortable.
Oh, it was like closest thing to church, I feel like.
Okay, when you're in a show, what do you focus on?
Everything. I'm so hyper focused, but like my favorite thing to watch is like the production of how it's taken.
I stare at drummers.
Yeah.
I only ever watched the drummers. Yeah. And like, that's been the hardest part because drummers are so hard to take pictures of.
Yeah. You got to get confident and get up on like the side corner.
And they like, I did Whitechapel and they move around the stage so much. And every time I think, okay, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get a picture, they move around.
Yeah.
I had to, couldn't do it. So I have like no photos of a drummer and I feel so bad because like,
Start playing the drum.
I've gotten feedback from other like photographers and like, yeah, there's never any focus on the drummers. And that's the one thing I get is more pictures of the drummers. So like, I always take a bunch and they're never really good.
You know what I do, especially for like, I don't ever shoot any big bands anymore, but like, I'll do Jordan's 1781 band quite a bit. And he's the drummer. So I'm like, he's my homie. I got to do him
I
good.
think it's more comfortable when you know somebody in the band. You're not as like, I don't want to get to it. Oh, come up the road. It's like, oh,
Midwest. Let me squeeze past you here. First 3 songs, so no platform. That'd be obvious. But anyways, I do during the warm up. Since there's no one really in the way and they still will push her. That's fine.
Big bands are hard though because they have like they have techs that do everything for them.
Yeah.
Whitechapel did there. Oh, they had people doing everything for them. I was like, damn, that's kind of fucking cool. That this band I'd listened to for like 20 years, probably not that long.
Yeah.
But they're so big now that they have fucking full on techs doing everything for them. It's kind of surreal though, because like I was telling you, I've only shot legitimately 3 shows. One of them I stuffed my camera in at Houston. And it was the Acacia Strain.
Yeah.
Pictures were phenomenal because I was like front of the crowd, which I'm usually never there. I'm usually always near the pit.
Yeah.
I did Terror back here. And then that was like my first legitimate, I had a photo pass, I'm going to shoot photos. And then I did Whitechapel this week. And like, I was a little more comfortable at the venue because Red Flag, the other thing I don't like is the tall stage.
Yeah.
It's not as fun as like a 4 stage.
Yeah, no.
But it's kind of a learning experience.
I can see you excelling, especially like in music.
That's why I do it. Like I told you, I just want to get in for free and take photos. So like doing both of those and seeing bands that I like, it's kind of shitty of me not to want to take pictures of bands that I don't know or don't like. But it's like, if I have no interest when I'm editing, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, it's all about your creativity. And if you're doing it for free, I don't think it matters. I don't think more or less unless they like or reached out to you and they're like, yeah, I'm with photos. Like, okay, here's how much. I call it the resentment fee.
Yeah. So here's the thing that I came up with, and I think I've told you this. If I reach out to somebody, I have an idea, I have a project I want to do. It's all in my head. I'm never going to charge anybody for that because that's something I want to do. If someone reaches out to me and they're like, hey, can you do this for me? And it's something specific, I'm usually going to charge them just, hey, this is to cover my gas.
Yeah.
Like if I did a show for like Road to Point Fest for their kid that works out at Germanium. And I had done photos of him for my project. I was like, absolutely. I'm glad you asked.
Oh, it pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not necessarily interested in shooting your band. I don't know anything about your band. So I just want you to make sure I can get in for free and then basically pay for my food and gas.
Yeah.
And that's what it came down to. And I'm glad I could help him out.
Yeah.
He seems like a sweet kid. And I'm just kind of, if I had the confidence to go on stage and play in a band, yeah, I would probably do it too, but I don't.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm in the pit.
yeah, that's why I'm in the dark in the frat. I don't. I am part of the wait.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, it's funny seeing people at shows though. Like I didn't expect to see you guys at Tear.
yeah.
The Tear's a big band. Yes, I know, but not a lot of people listen to hardcore.
No, I'm super big into hardcore. That's like, it was funny. One of my best friends, they all went on this big trip to see Taylor Swift in Nashville, and her mom was like, why isn't Megan going with you? Because it was literally my whole entire friend group. And she's like, she doesn't like Taylor Swift. And she's like, what? So I'm from here. And so, what?
I love Taylor Swift. First album.
Anything.
Not anything after that. I had a friend in high school. I never listened to country. I don't like country. Not a country fan. I listened to like Americana and like maybe some small stuff like Tyler Childers and stuff like that. But for some reason, I had Taylor Swift's CD in my car in high school.
The curly-haired one?
Yeah, it's that. And we used to listen to it literally all the time. I don't remember a lot because my memory's so bad. I could still probably remember the words of that CD. I love it. Don't fucking know why.
It was a good CD. I do remember it. One of my best friends back then, she's real big into Taylor back then. And every time we drive.
But I also think Beyonce.
That's okay.
I think she's very.
You also don't like Star Wars. I know. Just
Oh fuck! Don't even get me started. I respect it for what it is, but I think I read a book. I read a Star Wars book, and it was the Ronin book, which was an adaptation from like a short in the universe. And I thought that book was phenomenal with the way it was written. Loved it. I sat down. I've seen every Star Wars universe movie, and I don't think they're good. They're like a soap opera, but for space nerds. That's exactly what it is. And I can't get behind it. I can't. But then again, I was a Harry Potter kid.
it was all good. We all had her. It was either Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, or Star Wars.
You fit into your niche. I have read and reread the Harry Potter books like 5 times each.
So I don't have the mind's eye, like where you're able to see stuff when you're yeah. So that's why
Do you talk to yourself in your head?
constantly. There's like multiple monologues.
I love asking people that question because I have found out my sister-in-law, she doesn't have an inner monologue.
What a life to live, just like floating.
Yes. Could you imagine how I have full-on conversations back and forth with and this people could probably think I'm crazy.
We are crazy now.
But I have like vivid daydreams. Like I have the craziest dreams at night, and I have the most overworked imagination out of any. For a almost 31-year-old person, like magic is still prevalent in my like, one of these days Pokemon and magic are going to be real.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the first to experience it because I've already lived there in my head.
Yes.
So I'm just preparing for that.
Yeah.
But my imagination is crazy. I'll tell my wife stories sometimes about my dreams, and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck?
I love it. Dreams are like, so I'm not like super duper religious or spiritual, but the one type of spirituality that I believe in everything and nothing at the same time, but I always pay attention to my dreams because I think they're more important than what people think they are.
Do you get deja vu from your dreams?
Absolutely. So there's like multiple types of dreams, and one of them's like fruitions or traveling to other types of like
I like straight up fucking crazy. I'm losing my speech over this. I swear I've had dreams and that shit has happened after ads.
It's real.
And then I don't know if I'm like fabricating my own memory to think that was a thing where it could really happen.
Yeah, but sure I've watched like it's creepy. I've watched like all my family like died where they died in dreams. Creepy. That's the morbid shit. But
I went through I don't know what it was. I went through last year a phase of waking up screaming in the middle of
Jesus. Okay, now you got your ambient right.
now I just snore like crazy because I have really bad sleep apnea. But I would wake up literally fucking screaming and like grabbing my wife.
Or your wife.
Yeah, and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, a dream, I guess. But I was like talking and screaming in real life. Crazy. I like talking about my dreams with you because it's like, hey, I had a dream about you and some really fucked up shit happened. And like, you may or may not have died in my dream. Just making sure.
Just no, I have like a whole dream book that I'll like every morning I'll write down as soon as I wake up, and I'll decide.
I tell myself about them whenever I wake up. I talk to myself. I really had that dream.
Yeah.
I keep a journal though too. Yeah. I have a stack of film journals from like even day-to-day stuff. Like I, write about.
I love dreams. Like, but it's always the full moon dreams, which I don't ever try and decipher those because they're just like an adventure sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And then if I ever take NyQuil or nighttime, any nighttime medicine, it's like the trippiest shit I've ever been on my whole life. I'm like,
I have dreams that I'm in high school.
That makes me cry. I hate high school.
But I'm the age and exact person I am now. I've just like, for some reason, I'm like, you didn't actually graduate high school. You got to come back and complete this one math class.
I had one of those, and in my dream, I'm going, but I own a business. I'm not supposed to be
here.
And
I'm like, you guys don't realize I'm in good money. I have a good job. I work from home. I'm not going back to high school, and then I'm in high school class, and it's like, why is everybody that was also in high school with me here right now?
Yeah.
Did we all fuck up?
Yeah.
Or like, I have dreams where I'm finding things like money or electronics or like cool shit. I'm always wanting them, like picking it up, shoving it in my pocket. Wake up and I'm like, where'd all that shit go that I found? Yeah. Okay. Like, what the fuck?
So last night's dream, which I think is one of those dreams I just don't need to decipher. I was like in my childhood bedroom, there's this old man sitting in my bed, and he's like talking on the phone about how he used to be of the KKK and how it was okay because he wasn't racist. Just about the networking. And then I was like,
I just worked white people. The South will rise again. So my wife doesn't have dreams, but she has sleep paralysis. Have you ever experienced it?
yes.
I mean, I don't think I've ever it was full on experience, but I woke up, and a few times I woke up screaming. I see like a black moth hanging over the bed.
Yeah, it's a UFO.
And it's like a spook or a specter or a scary thing, and I don't know how to perceive it, so I just start screaming at it.
Yeah, that's a...
But I always read about her like I'm trying to protect her, but she has full on where she is like wanting, moving, making noise in her sleep and like cannot wake up. And I'm like, what do I do? Do I wake? Is it like sleepwalking? Do I leave them alone?
No, you definitely want to wake them up.
Yeah, so it's like I never know what to do, which also, I mean, when you get really tired after having it, you kind of have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, it's just...
I've had hours at night now where I can't even remember them. Like, we watched Godzilla vs. Kong the other night. I checked out about halfway through the movie, but supposedly I watched it all the way through to the credits ending. I've seen that movie 4 times. Why did I watch the credits roll? So, the ambient is crazy.
When now you can sleep.
I'm always conflicted, though, too, because, like, a lot of people probably know or don't know about me being straight edge. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I haven't done anything since I was 19 years old, so almost 12 years. And taking prescription drugs, because I take an antipsychotic, I take an I take Lexapro, I take a medicine for my migraines because I have chronic migraine syndrome, and then I take Ambien. I also, from ADD, I take Vyvanse for my ADD. Like, I was still conflicted taking prescribed medicine that have an effect on your thought process. And I'm like, man, how do I go about this? But at the same time, it's like, I couldn't function unless I needed. No, I'm not doing them for fun. I'm doing them because holy shit, I'm recreational. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Makes it, but like I have a lot of friends who smoke weed. So like, I don't care about it. I don't give a shit. I only care about if you do drugs and you're ruining your life.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, it's interesting. I've seen so many of my straight edge friends start to like smoke weed now, and I'm like, what?
Well, it's one of those things that like you don't realize. I found out at a young age. I don't know if it's completely true for me. I've smoked weed 3 times in my life in high school. I did a lot of stuff in high school, and I think everybody kind of had to experience those things because you can't go into a lifestyle and never having known the other side of the coin. And I knew that none of those things were going to be beneficial for me. But I smoked weed 3 times. Every single time I was sick to my stomach. Yeah, that's not worth it. Come to find out, my little sister had the same thing.
You guys have like the little disease where
you can be allergic to THC and it react to a chemical in your stomach and makes you sick.
Yep.
The only way to get past it is just to smoke a shit ton of weed and build up a resistance.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, not my thing. I'm not going to do that. I am good. As an adult human being, I think other things are far more important, like ski soda or Dr. Pepper Steam.
How about other caffeine?
I try not to. I don't drink a lot of it. Ski is caffeine free.
Really?
Yes. That's why I love it.
But I still get like the worst, like sugar high panic attack.
Yeah. And that's why I also drink Dr. Pepper Zero because it's 0 caffeine.
Yeah.
But I do consume caffeine. But it also having ADD, if you didn't know, and for anybody who didn't know, if you have ADD, caffeine does not affect you the same.
No.
So if you drink a shit ton of coffee and never feel anything from it, you never get a boost, you never feel more awake, you probably have fucking ADD. Yeah. I didn't learn that. I also didn't learn ADD affects your memory.
Yeah.
Because you have so much going in, you're pushing just as much out. You don't have enough time to retain it. So this is all stuff I've learned in the last 2 years of being alive. It took me until 29 years old to get diagnosed with all this shit.
Yeah.
So I am constantly talking mental health with people, seeing a doctor, doing something about what's going on in your brain. Because we all grew up with parents who don't believe in mental health.
Absolutely.
And they're like, oh, you're just faking it. You're just sad. You'll get over it. You'll grow out of it. I'm fucking 31 years old. I've never grown out. I'm almost but I've never grown out of it. So that's not true. So I'm a very big believer in talking about your mental health, making it more common day to understand that people take medicine literally to get through the fucking day. And then you're not crazy. You're not weird. You're not well, we are down there, but you're not, we're all there. It's getting me out there talking and meeting people. And it's not an easy thing for me, but it makes me more comfortable in the future. Like, I would have never done this.
Well, it's exposure therapy.
Yes, it would have been over exposure therapy. And that's why I say I'm still an introvert. I'm a little bit extrovert.
Yeah.
I can handle people. Like, I am my wife's strong person when we go out to listens because I can be extroverted for other people. Yeah. So it's one of those things like I'm working on.
And yes, every time I've ever taken that test, I'm like right like a couple points off from the center. Then I always go back and forth. So this thing as chameleon.
So have you, and I don't know, how many jobs have you applied for?
Okay, I've only applied for one job just so I can meet someone. I ended up getting the job and turning it down because he wanted me to cancel my whole business.
So did you ever take those, like, what do you do in these situations tests, or strongly agree, strongly disagree tests?
Staying for him to get a job.
Holy shit, I fucking hate those. I lie on these so hard. Yeah. Because they're specifically looking for things that, like, I'm not going to put the trick. There's no way. I'm not sure. That's not
shoot this person out. But no, I'm going to kindly be talking nice to them.
At every job, I've been perceived as an asshole because I don't want to do the stupid little things for business-related things. I want to do my job. I want to do it well. And then I want to go about my day-to-day.
Yeah, I think that's the
policy. Corporate and policy America is not great. No, for me, it's kind of envious that you've never had to go through with that.
No, yeah, I definitely lucked out. The only real job I had outside of videography, photography was working as a visual effects artist. So it was like the same studio that my dad worked for that built props for haunted houses. So I built zombies and airbirds.
That'd be fucking cool, though.
It was so sick. My favorite boss ever, Patrick Voss. They paid like $4,000 for these like zombies. You can go to like Six Flags and see them now.
That's sick.
But Vanilla Ice just released a music video, and one of them's in it. I was like, look at us go.
That's fucking weird. I never I don't hear people reference the notes. I mean, the houses now evades taxes. So I met a lot of cool people. Like, bands are what blow me away because they're normal fucking. I think about
you can't put them up to one that pedophile.
I think about that every time I shoot a show, and they're probably uncomfortable having a camera pointed at them. But it's like they're normal fucking people, and I don't know how I would feel if somebody was shoving a camera down my throat at a show. So it's like I try and be respectful of people's boundaries.
Yeah. So, my biggest thing, especially like whenever I'm in environments where you're around like a lot of like higher caliber people or whatever, I don't know who the fuck anyone is. And so I just treat them all the same. And then later on, they're like, you realize who you're talking to? I was like Charles Schwab. I had no fucking clue who that was. And then like, I don't even know who that is. He's a big finance person. Like he was being interviewed by Tony Robbins. But I was like, yeah, he's just some old man with a hearing aid. And no, multi-millionaire.
And when you get to the gist of it, musicians probably a little bit different. They're probably more like us than anything. Famous people, I don't put on a pedestal, but like non-famous people are way more interesting. I took photos, not interviewed. Mind you, all the photos I do are kind of like that.
Yeah, they are. You should have a blog almost now.
But I did a guy from South Africa, and it was like the most surreal thing because he talked about like growing up in South Africa and all the changes coming to the U.S. and then like why he came here and like how he's doing and like. I asked him, and this might get edited out. I was like, what was the biggest thing about coming to the U.S. that was about cars? Was it like all the big buildings? Like you were in South Africa, I have no idea what it's like down there. And the first thing that Papa just said, he goes, the black people, because he goes, there we're the minority. Yeah, here we're not. Yeah, and it's crazy just to like. The complete whole shift in balance of people that, and like I worked for people down there and worked with people down there that led tribes and like we're very prominent people, and up here it's just not the same. And it's like that's kind of a crazy way to put it. I probably would have been like, damn, there's a lot of people here, like shit that this is overpopulated. But then again, I also don't want to live in the U.S. I want to live anywhere but the U.S. I was actually talking to my wife all the time. Yeah, I was talking to my wife about like I mentioned it because I was looking. I was like, "Do you think we can move to Canada?" And she goes, "Canada is like way more expensive than even like Houston. That's why we left Houston, because of how expensive it was. And she goes, but I have been seriously doing my research on moving to Germany. And I was like, okay, what? So it's one of those things, like, she wants to be there for, like, because it would be cool.
Yeah.
She took 4 years of German in high school, pretty sure.
Lean on her when you get
She thinks everything over there is, and I mean, I can agree with her.
Yeah.
Like, free healthcare, free school, whatever. Germany is sick. But, like, she has done all the research, whereas I'm just like, Canada? Can we just get the fuck out of here? Yeah. Canada's like 10 hours away.
Yeah.
Like, we could easily move to Canada. We don't got to fly there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We both work from home, and that's the benefit, is we can literally live anywhere. Yeah. And I feel bad for people that don't have that freedom.
Yeah.
So it's like, I try not to rub swings. Like, hey, I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
But also, like, you're in control of your life. If you want something, just you're it. Don't make excuses. That's the saddest thing that I see around here. And it's just like one of those things where I have to like audit out of my life or whatnot. Whenever people like choose something, yeah, and they're like self-aware of like what the conflict are. Yeah, and it's like, okay.
Well, I tell people, because I do cybersecurity for my day job. I went to school for computer science. Didn't get a degree. I went to Rankin. Rankin's a ripoff. Don't go there. Please keep that in. I went to Rankin. I graduated with the certificate. I got a job in IT doing help desk. Got another job in IT in Houston, and I met somebody. It's all about knowing people, and I got a job doing cybersecurity. People ask me all day long how they can do the same thing. How do I do that? How do I get where you are? And you, which I suck at, have to be willing to learn every single day. Mm-hmm. There is so much you could know that you could just learn from a book, that you ain't got to go to college. You don't got to get schooling. You don't got to do this. If you get certificates and you have the drive and you're willing to learn and you show people you're willing to learn, you can usually do what I do. Yeah. A lot of the people that I work with, they're just now going to school, already having a job in the career field, just in case they need a degree to go somewhere else in the future. So it's like, I mean, the experience speaks way more than schooling. And somebody once told me schooling is getting a college degree only shows me you were patient.
Yeah.
Because everybody cheats on college courses. Like, nobody takes this shit serious. I barely made it out of high school. College was not for me. I'm a 3-time dropout.
Yeah, I didn't even try.
Probably close to a 4th-time dropout, because I've considered going back. We'll see how that goes.
But was it Einstein that said, ignorance is repelled?
Oh, yeah. I've tried to go to, I've gone to so many. I went to LCC. I went to Rankin. I went to Houston Community College. I signed up and almost registered for an online school to get a degree, and then backed out at the last second, thank God. But it's like, schooling is just not for some people.
No,
some people cannot learn in a structured, constant, like, that environment. I don't know my words. I have ADD.
You're good.
Some people just can't learn like that. Like, I'm very much a visual learner. If you show me how to do something one time, I will almost never.
So shout out, okay, I gotta think his name, Mr. Kirby. He was my algebra 2 or 3 teacher. Geometry was my shit. It was all about shapes and stuff, but like the algebra was not it. And anytime I was like in a test and I didn't know like what the fuck I was doing, I just draw a pretty picture because I knew he was an artist. He had like a full back piece of tattoos. So, and later on, like just this last year, a year ago, I saw him at an event and I was like, Mr. Kirby, thank you for passing me your class. And he's like, I knew you were trying your best.
Honestly,
thank you.
I would have to think, if I think any teachers for anything, there's 2.
Yeah.
Nah, 3. All right, Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
If you ever had him in middle school, he was my 7th and 8th grade, like,
did you ever meet
history teacher?
History.
I don't know what they called it in middle school. I was trying to think of the name. Mr. Jeff Warren, at Alton High, the automotive teacher. He actually cares about teaching the students something. And Miss Gavillo, a lot of people didn't like her, but she didn't put up with any of my bullshit. And looking back on it now, I'm kind of glad she didn't.
Yeah,
she talked to us like we were fucking adults.
Yeah,
she didn't talk to us like we were these little children. I had told her that I had a fucked up life growing up. And I had informed her, hey, I'm probably not going to do any of your schoolwork. I am the only one that has a job in my household. I work 40 to 50 hours a week in high school. Like, don't expect much from me. I'm probably going to sleep in your class and really not care.
Yeah.
And I mean, I passed, but I mean, it's a wonder I even made it that far. And like nowadays, if I can see her again, I would tell her like, you know, thanks for being a decent teacher.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for kind of giving a shit.
Yeah. That's real important to have those teachers.
Most teachers really don't give a shit about the students. Kind of sad.
Yeah, no, definitely. I had a few, and
Sorry, most teachers that have been doing it for a long time just kind of start going through the paces.
yeah, they probably have their own trauma or whatever excuses to not.
I was a bad student. I was the worst type of person with a chip on my shoulder. And looking back, I really wished I would have been a better person.
I'll go through the phones. I mean, you've changed. It's not like you stuck to that person.
So, no, and again, thanking my wife for that. I would not be the person who is as understanding, helpful, and like, I try to be humble without humble bragging.
Yeah.
To people that I got over fucking teaching me how to actually be a decent human being. Because I wasn't.
Yeah.
Kind of a bad person. I would not, like, anybody who knew me, I regret being that person.
Yeah.
So I only have a few friends still from then that saw the progression of bad Justin, okay Justin, and then now better.
Now those are the golden people, probably, because they got to watch the process and sit through it. So
Yeah, I mean,
and plus, it's so hard to hold on to, like, childhood friendships, too. Like, I have Jordan upstairs, who you just met, and then Janessa. And those are the only people from high school.
especially high school friends, they all stick. And, like, you grow so fast apart. And I've told so many people that, like, you're lucky if you still have friends from high school. Because it's just, once you get out of high school, you really kind of gotta find out who you are.
No, yeah.
And then most of those people aren't gonna stick around because you're gonna be different. You're gonna move and go forward and shit.
I'll be in senior sessions, like, especially for the girls and guys. I don't really care. I'm just getting the shit done for them. But the girls, they're like, oh, Joel's drama. I'm like, your life is about to do a warning. Show your shit's back there.
Slowly. You're not. Funny thing, you're never gonna look back on this and you're like, damn, I should go back to being that person.
Yeah, no, it's all chapters and different people. Or
And like, I had to grow up very quick. Yeah. So like, I've been doing adult shit since I was like 15. It's like having to fucking make meals for myself, watching, like, I babysat my brothers on my entire life because my parents were just never home.
yeah,
So it's like, you kind of, you have to learn who you are. I didn't find that until I was like 20.
yeah, you were given the space to do it.
No. Then, like, again, parents just not very supportive of who I was, that I was trying to be someone else.
How important the maid family is. Yeah. They're so much better than, like, any, like, real family you could ever get.
Oh, I treat my friends like the family. Easily, that is the people that I want to have around. And
Yeah.
I had a therapist a while back that, he told me friends are the family that you make for yourself. So that's where I went with it at that point was, this is who I'm choosing to be around. I'm going to make sure that they know that shit.
Yeah.
That I'm going to take care of them. Like, they don't have to worry about shit as long as I'm around. So that's what I do.
Yeah, same, man. I love Owen as much as I can, especially when to see how quickly people can be taken away from life. I always, like, make sure I appreciate them as much as...
I mean, I lost a friend in high school, and then, like, fucking... Honestly, I'm lucky enough to not have lost too many people after high school.
Mm-hmm.
People I know have died, but not directly affected. And it's sad, but, like, obviously, I can't relate because I didn't know them, but I do still show respects and shit like that. But, man, to know that there are people that are dead that I went to high school with is kind of a trick.
Yeah. Okay. My whole thing is I had a tattoo, like, my first tattoo died of mom, so I gotta make today, like, good.
And none of my tattoos mean shit. I literally got this one because it was the company emblem that I work at now, and they paid for it. And I was like, I'll go get tattooed if y'all are paying for it.
I wish I could get sponsored tattoos like that.
Yeah, I literally put in an invoice to my work, and they're like, all right, we'll make sure it's on your next paycheck. I'm like, cool. Look at shit. I'd rather work here. Yeah.
Get a whole sleeve done.
Well, we've had a few people that I've worked with that have done the same thing because, again, we're corporate now. We got bought out. for a huge sum of money, and I hate working for corporate America. Yeah. And I'm the first to voice that. But I mean, sometimes you have to grow up and you kind of deal with the fact that this is what you're going to have to do to make a living. I'm never going to be fucking broke again. I grew up poor. I'm not going back to that. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, I can finally afford food. I can finally afford the things that I want. I don't have to stress out if I put gas in my car. And I can do cool shit from time to time. I'm not going to be fucking broke. I'll make sacrifices to make money. Yeah. So, and that's why I've never really pursued photography full time, because me as a person, I don't think I could connect with people enough to make money.
But how much could that be imposter syndrome?
You're right. It absolutely could be. But I would rather leave it to the people that truly, absolutely are willing to make the sacrifices to make photography their full-time job.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I look at like Nathan Hofer, love him to death.
I got to meet him. Well, I have known him, but we got to hang out.
Yeah, he's a great person, and he does killer photos, but he does weddings. I would never make the sacrifice to do weddings.
Yeah, no, fuck.
I don't care how much money it can make me. I don't care if...
We're almost going to stare at your ears.
Yeah, I don't care to ever have that sort of stress on my shoulders and then have like 40 hours of editing just for somebody to tell me they don't like the photos. Yeah. So I would never make that sacrifice. I don't have the same artistic sacrifice that some people do have and are willing to make, because you can go fucking poor, but eventually maybe you might make it. I look at like also David Mullis. I don't know if you know who that is. I mean, he did band stuff, music stuff forever, did automotive stuff. All of his work has always been fucking killer. And now he does shit with First Form. And like, I look up to people like that are willing to have really fucking grinded and done everything to get to that point, because I can do the same.
Again, watch what you're saying, my dude. Because right now, it's so cool because it's different, where you're inside the box. Like, I get to watch everything you do.
Hey, maybe you ever run rampant one of these days, and I'll just start getting people contact.
You have been doing has already accelerated you from anyone that has started from the same place as you, doing it different.
No mean.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I actually don't know how to be known by people like, oh yeah, I've seen your photos. What? How? Like, I have
so many different people.
Yeah, I have barely 800 followers on Instagram. I saw one day I was at 799 and the next day I was at like 801. I was like, oh, holy shit, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But it's like numbers like that have never gotten to me, but it's still like, why the fuck, or how have I made it to where 800 people, maybe a lot of bots, want to see what I post?
Yeah.
And like, that kind of gives you a good feeling. So it's one of those things that I push people with stuff. I bought a camera for one of my friends a while back.
Yeah. Just
because he kind of showed interest and I wanted him to kind of pursue that and do something with that and enjoy it and like it and fucking, I don't know how else to put it. I just want people to be creative.
Yeah.
If I can make enough money this year, I told myself I'd squirrel away money until I can go mirrorless. Because that, I feel like, is my next big jolly.
Yeah, I want Sony.
See, I'm going to get a Nikon Z series.
I've seen a lot of people be successful with Nikon.
The only thing, so I can go either, because if I go Nikon, I have to get a converter for my lenses anyway.
Yeah.
So I have to buy eventually newer lenses.
Yeah.
If I go Sony, I'm going to have to use the same thing.
Yeah.
But I obviously have more Nikon lenses right now, so it's like, which path do I have a Sony, a 6100, 6300, I can't remember, a 30 millimeter lens for it, and that's my carry around. That's my small everyday camera. Because I'm not lugging a fucking 6-pound massive DSLR.
Arthritis. I mean, we gotta be prepared for that.
I have tennis elbow.
Yeah.
And it hurts to hold my camera after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things that, like, eventually I'll go mirrorless and I'll be happy with it, but I have to be able to justify spending money because there's nothing wrong with my camera. Yeah, nothing. Sometimes images are a little soft, depending on which lens I'm using, but other than that, I mean, I can still do professional shit to my cameras.
Yeah, that's why I always preach to beginners is it doesn't matter what you start with, it's just the frequency that you
buy fucking lenses way before bodies.
Yeah.
All I had when I started was a D3000, the kit lens, and then a 50 millimeter. And me being an idiot, I bought full frame immediately. Didn't buy any new lenses. I didn't buy any lenses to go with it. I literally was just like, I'm going to buy a full frame camera. So that's what I fucking did. And it's the worst idea. I wish I would have saved money and bought way better lenses because I was shooting on full frame with crop sensor lenses. And it was not good. So I learned really quick the route to go down. And that's why I tell anybody now who's getting into cameras, invest in glass way before you invest in a high-end camera. But nowadays, everybody can buy mirrorless cameras with their kit lenses. And Sony kit lenses are killer. The Nikon ones are killer. Like, you could do so much more with them now than you could in the day. Like, my 18 to 55 back in the day was awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I don't know how anybody really got stellar photos with that. So
what else advice do you have for 79 photo shoots ago, Justin, to make the process easier where you got to today?
take as many photos as possible. Because in the past, and I'm trying to limit myself now too, because I'll walk away from a 30-minute shoot with 150 plus photos. And then I have to picture all of them. But the good part about that is if you messed up and you didn't grab focus, or it was a little soft, or they looked weird, or the lighting was off, shadows came in. The other day I did one where a storm rolled in as I was taking photos. Like, you have backups and you don't have to make copies, because I make a lot of copies of existing photos to also do them in black and white. Yeah. Instead of having two separate photos, it's one photo edited twice. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest thing to people is take more photos than you'll ever need. Yeah. Because when it comes to editing, you're going to wish you had them.
Yep.
Also, back your shit up on them.
Multiple hard drives.
I have my shit saved on 2 hard drives on my computer, in the cloud.
Yep.
Like, on my phone. Save it everywhere.
I have a fire safe that I keep just for my hard drives. You might know it'll probably melt.
I have waterproof cases that I keep SD cards and hard drives in. But invest in really big SSDs that are external. External SSDs, because if you drop them, they won't die like me. I lost the first, 5,000 photos I ever took because I had them on a shitty external, and I dropped it and ruined it. Couldn't recover anything off of it and just lost everything. Nowadays, I save all my RAWs, so I shoot everything in RAW, which learn to do that, even if you don't want to. Whenever I put an SD card in my computer, it automatically saves them to a secondary hard drive that's halfway full. Then I upload them into Lightroom, and then they're saved to Lightroom, back them on Lightroom, and then I export them and put them on my phone, put them on my hard drive, and then put them in Google Photos, which I pay for.
Yep.
So knowing to do all that, you can't be broke because you have to pay for all this shit. But it's worth the sacrifice starting early.
Yeah.
So you don't fuck up like that.
Yeah.
And I hate that I lost all those photos because I had so many photos looking back at them now that were probably fucking sick if I knew what I was doing with them.
Gone forever.
Yes. I could have done so much with them if I just knew how to edit, if I just knew how to, use the light better or up the shadows or whatever.
But consistency, you learn.
Don't kick yourself in the ass and immediately back your shit up. Yeah. Also, fucking don't think of everything as a competition. I took that from you because back in the day, everything, when I was trying to make money, I looked at everything as a competition. I wanted to make money. I didn't screw anybody over or steal business from them. And I didn't try and talk people out of working with people. Yeah. But at the same time, I would be jealous. And nowadays, I'm happy when I see other people getting photo shoots. I'm happy seeing other people's work. I'm happy seeing people actually doing art as a whole. And I'm not jealous of them. I'm trying to learn from them.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to learn every day, and you should never stop learning because you're never going to hit the sky. And even if you do, there's no roof, so you can keep going. Mm-hmm. And that's the people that I look up to is they're always trying new shit.
Yes.
Which I like to see, whether it's new formats like video or I follow a photographer, Larry Chin, who does automotive stuff. Everything he posts on Instagram is from his phone.
Jeez.
He does it he is a Canon sponsored photographer and one of the best I've seen. And he has he is very, like, I'm pretty sure he posts some stuff, but like his stories and everything is often the spot. Because that's like his rule is like, I want to keep this as like from my eye to you guys as possible. Then I'm trying to do the same thing. I have to force myself to take more pictures on my phone and not, I'm a very in the moment person when I don't have my camera. I don't take pictures of shit that I'm doing. I don't take selfies. I don't
pictures. Yeah.
Yes, I very much live in the moment because I have a hard time remembering things. So that's another thing. Don't let the camera fucking run everything for you.
Yeah.
Don't think you can't do something just because you don't have your camera. Don't not have fun simply because you're working. Like, I miss so many shots simply because I'm talking to people or just having a good time taking photos.
Yeah.
The other day I was just pulling lights for somebody while they were doing a shoot because one of their tripods didn't work. And I almost had more fun watching them work and shoot photos than I have on a lot of the shoots that I put. Because they were enjoying it and I got to watch them enjoy what they were doing.
It's fun. Yeah, being around people is just like, you can lose creativity sometimes, and being able to take a break and watch someone or let them inspire you. I have somehow keep going.
Like you said, take time to recharge. Yeah. I did like 10 shoots in 5 days when I started this project. I spent almost an entire month editing or taking photos. And then I took 2 weeks off because I was burned out.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing with the podcast. I'll take a week on super hardcore now, just take a week off.
I didn't touch in Houston, I didn't touch my camera for like 2 years. Yeah. I didn't even want to take photos. Like, I thought about getting out of it as a whole until I fucking got inspired again and then just fucking clicked. And then I just dove headfirst back into it.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for my brain. As soon as I get an idea, I have to scratch it immediately.
And what's funny is what actually inspired it is buying my Sony and taking pictures on a mirrorless. And not, because it's crop sensor mirrorless, not to being as happy with the quality as I was with my full frame.
Yeah.
I love taking pictures with my Sony. I think a lot of them turn out fan-fucking-tastic. But I don't get the same sense of satisfaction from them. So it's like, I don't know, I would never do like silent shooting full time or which if you, I don't know if you've ever looked into mirrorless yet, they have an option called silent shooting. There's no shutter always. I had somebody taking my photo and I'm sitting there smiling and he's like, oh yeah, I got like 5 or 6. I'm like, what? I didn't get your shot. And he's like, oh yeah, I only shoot the silent mode. I was like, what the fuck? Secret. Yeah. And also with Sony, it turns off your flash.
Oh my God.
I learned that whenever I shot the Acacia Strain only on my Sony and my flash wasn't going off. And I was like, what the fuck? Did I break in already? Well, I had this camera for a week. And I just learned that silent mode turns off your flash.
So where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where do you want to see yourself? Not where do you realistically? If you could just like dream,
avoid that question like the plague.
Yeah.
Only because I can't see I can't see myself doing what I want to do next week, let alone 5 years.
Yeah.
I would love to still be shooting photos. I would love just to be focusing on doing portraits full time, just working one-on-one with people, not doing families, not doing children. I would love to get in and work with people doing like clothing and fashion stuff or like business oriented, taking portraits for people, like, but also with no fear of running into people that I don't want to see.
Yeah.
So like, I don't connect with a lot of people because who they're friends with.
Yeah, that's a safe thing to do. I do that.
And that's why I don't want to stay in Alton forever.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to go to like a local business and be like, hey, do you guys want photos done? Yeah. Not knowing who they are and them not knowing me or not having any...
Like the bash drama. Or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want any small town drama.
Yeah.
I don't...
Good luck finding that. Not tea.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm an outsider, I don't know the drama.
But then you won't be an outsider for long.
Hey, I could at least experience it for like 6 months. But if I had to say where I want to be 5 years from now, the only genuine answer I have that is happy, which I know is not going to happen. This is me being negative, because I'm very much a realist. Yeah. But I would love not to have to worry about anything, just be happy doing my own thing.
Amen.
But not, I'm going to be anxious and stressed every day. So like, that's what I want to work on is I just want to fucking live life, do my thing, and create.
I think that's the whole reason that I think you're cool is because you just do it for the love of it.
Yeah, very much. And that's why I don't do money also, because when I did do it for money, it very much turned me away from enjoy.
Yep.
And there's nothing I love more than being behind a camera and taking photos.
Mm-hmm.
That is like childhood to me, like jury, like growing up watching skate videos or BMX videos or anything. If I could ever like go to the coast and work with people doing that, not even full time, just like be out there, I'd like bring my around edge and be like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool. That would be fucking killer.
I'm excited 5 years from now, we'll redo this interview and I'll have like a little slideshow of all those things happening and you're going to be living in Canada and then
Fuck yeah. Character sick.
One of the two.
Make sure they go. I don't know if you watch it or if, I don't know how much YouTube you do, but they do the yearly interview with Billie Eilish.
That's exactly what this is.
And I live for that shit.
Yeah.
So
she's all depressed at the beginning, then she gets rich and she's like, I'm happy. Like, fuck yeah.
I'd be happy if I was rich too.
Yeah.
Let's just say, like, that would make all of it. If I was just naturally rich and could just do photos all the time, not have to worry about money, hell yeah, I would be the happiest. People who say money doesn't provide happiness have never grown up.
No, yeah.
They didn't grow up poor, and I get it. It doesn't immediately, like, there's still depressed people who are rich, but yeah. I would be a whole lot better off if I had endless money.
Absolutely.
We're leave it at that.
Yeah, I call that, for someone who doesn't like talking about themselves, you did a good job.
It's hard, and I had to force it, a lot of it. My wife's natural, but
You did it.
cut.